going. Alright, so this is a discussion on why education is freedom when it comes to slavery and black people in general, and how it still equals that today. So, this is my lovely partner, Jordan. She's not in our class, y'all ain't gonna know her name. And unless you just want to tell me her name.
I'm Quasia.
It's Quasia. So, alright, I mean, education is freedom for slaves because, and then even today, just simply because of the fact that knowledge is power, and knowing what you can do, knowing what you can't do in those rights gives you those rights. And back in the day when nobody had education except for white folks, the education that they did want to garner, being able to read, allowed people to not, I'm trying to find a good way to say that, it didn't let people screw them over, and it let them be able to have that say in whatever it is they were doing. And the HBCUs helped it come up in that right, just to have a place the way they could be safe and actually learn what it is, what they need to learn from people that actually want to teach them. You want to touch on that? And how do you feel about this question?
Well, as far as slavery in the Americas, you know, education was the barrier to being equal to white people.
Yeah.
You know, white people revered their knowledge and superiority with being able to read and write, and because of this, it allowed them to withhold a form of power over the African American people they had enslaved. So as long as they were ignorant, they were able to be subjugated to the rule of their oppressor.
Yeah, I feel like that's why HBCUs were so like why they were so needed and why people wanted them so much, and why it was good to do it. But then Booker T. Washington came up, and he was like, "Oh, he actually said we gotta start from the bottom and then work our way up."
Right.
And he made it more towards agricultural and hard, arduous labor to basically make peace with the white folks, because he was like, "Yo, we free, but we still good. We can still work for y'all. We still live side by side." So,
yeah.
And we not, like, he wanted to educate people, but not educate them too much, and have them just doing the work that white folks basically didn't want to do. And that set people back. That set us back a good bit. Your take. That's how I feel. That's what I read, and that's how I feel about it. So.
Well, I do think that going forward, HBCUs are highly important to our community because they did allow us to have a space where we had access to a proper education, because in these schools that were run by mainly white committees and school boards, you know, black people generally had the short end of the stick with old textbooks and materials, as well as a more whitewashed structure of history and mathematics in underfunded schools. So it became a pivotal point in our community when we were allowed to actually have equal access to a secondary education as those of white people, in my opinion.
And that's what W.E.B. Du Bois came in.
I like Du Bois.
Yeah, I do too, because he basically told Washington to shove it up.
Yeah, and I think that Washington himself, you know, personally, I think that he still believed that black people weren't necessarily capable of being equal to white people. Yeah. And I think that he also didn't want to upset the audience, the white audience in particular.
Yeah.
So he was just trying to, you know, give us a little bit of leeway, but not to where it would like get us in trouble or something like that. Yeah.
I felt that with what he was doing too, like it set us back, but it kept the peace, so we could have that groundwork to get in everything. And then W.E.B. he was just like, "Hey, it's time to be equal. Like we need to be equal. We need to go ahead and get these classes in, get this education in, and be good." Like with Ida, because she was the journalist, and without that education, she wouldn't have been able to do the journalist needed to do. They got her ran out of town. They had people scared to know what she was talking about. So everything kind of just culminates together.
Not only that, you know, sorry,
20 seconds. Come on.
You know, with the idea of. With what Ida did herself, you know, she was a vessel for knowledge, and that's the reason why she was persecuted the way that she was, because she was telling the truth about how lynching was a way for white people in this time period to have the authority they did have.
Yeah.
You know, they targeted people, well, particularly black people, who were on the same level as them, whether it was politically or economically. Like, they challenged their authority.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that about covers it up. We're about 11 seconds over. HBCUs are great, and education is wonderful. Black people need to be free. You gotta free your mind first. So, I think we're good.
Yes, I think we're
all right.
okay.
Signing out, y'all.
Yeah.
Been real.
Thank you.